Snapchat has new parental content controls? Let's talk about it. Welcome to Clean Tech, home of daily technology news and reviews, and today we're going to be talking about Snapchat. Today's video is brought to you by Clean Phone. More on them at the end of the video. So Snapchat's new parental controls aim to protect minors from sensitive content. The new content controls filter for Family Center blocks sensitive or suggestive content on a child's Snapchat stories or Spotlight feed. Let's jump right in. So Snapchat has rolled out new parental content controls to help prevent minors from being exposed to potentially inappropriate content while using the app. Announced on Tuesday, parents and guardians can now access new content filtering capabilities through Snapchat's Family Center supervision tool to block, quote, sensitive or suggestive content from appearing on their child's Snapchat stories or Spotlight feed. Obviously, the reason behind doing so is pretty logical. You want your child to stay safe online and to not be exposed to things you don't want them to be exposed to, and obviously which are, given their age, not appropriate. And so yeah, definitely makes sense. The feature can be enabled by selecting, quote, restrict sensitive content within the Family Center settings. Snapchat notes that enabling the feature won't restrict the content your child can view elsewhere on the app outside of Snapchat's stories and Spotlight sections such as chat, snaps, and search. Unfortunately, this so-called filter, if you will, only applies to stories and Spotlight sections and not a whole lot of other places. So unless somebody, sends them something in a chat, they're still going to be able to, open it up and be exposed to it, if you will. As for what content falls under being, quote, sensitive or suggestive, the company has also published its content guidelines for community members, which outline what would be restricted by enabling the filter, such as moderately suggestive language and glorification of violence. The guidelines also help Snapchat creators to determine what content is outright prohibited, not eligible for recommendation on stories or Spotlight, and, quote, sensitive content that would be affected by the new content filters. I mean, at this point, I'm honestly surprised that, we didn't have this all along. Considering, the whole wake of technology and social media apps in today's day and age, I feel like content filtering and for parents to be able to just protect their kids online and make their overall experience safer, it should just be a standard at this point. According to a statement published by the company itself, we have always shared these guidelines with our media partners and Snap stars, said Team Snap in the blog announcement, adding that, quote, by publishing these full content guidelines for anyone to read, we want to offer greater transparency into the stronger standards we set for public-facing content and into our eligibility requirements for distribution. And it's one of the things that I actually really appreciate from Snapchat's end, considering they're just actually posting the thing in its entirety. Hey, here's what we think is good, here's what we think isn't good, and here's a little bit of gray area, if you will. And so that transparency, I feel like, is helpful for regardless of whoever ends up coming in front of the app, whether it's the child himself, whether it's content creators, whether it's parents. So like everybody knows what to do and what not to do, kind of situation. And I respect this kind of move from Snapchat to begin with. Finally, the company says it's planning to add additional parental controls to Family Center that would allow guardians to monitor how their children interact with My AI, Snapchat's experimental chatbot, that is. There's no release date for this update yet, but it's in the company's best interest to not dawdle. Earlier this month, the My AI chatbot was criticized over messages exchanged with an adult user who signed up as a 13-year-old girl. My AI subsequently provided advice on how to, quote, set the mood for losing her virginity to a 31-year-old man and how to conceal a bruise from Child Protective Services. As bizarre and disturbing as that sounds, that is the unfortunate reality of how AI evolves, if you will. It needs to learn, and until and unless it knows what not to do, it's gonna basically branch out into every single thing that it can and try to get or gather as much data and information as possible to actually educate itself in a better way in the future. But then again, that still requires some checks and balances from the team behind the AI or the bot or the whole software to actually, you know, like point it in the right direction, if you will. And that's the thing about AI itself. You can't really like do a closed alpha or beta test on it because you need exposure, right? You need more people to use the thing, because, you know, sample size, and the more people use it, the more people interact with it, the more information the software or the bot gathers, and the better it actually becomes. So as disturbing as this sounds, unfortunately it's just one of the ways or something that needed to happen in order for the company to actually make it so that it doesn't happen in the future. All in all, in today's day and age, I believe that parental controls and ensuring the safety of a child should be the first and foremost priority for any single company, website, service, product, or anything else that comes online these days. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. Clean Phone is the perfect phone for your kids because it allows you to manage everything on the phone remotely. It has tons of amazing features, such as easily allowing you to pick and choose which apps and games your child can use, provides you access to active phone monitoring including SMS and phone call usage, allows you to control how long and how often your kids can use apps or the internet. You can even check their call and SMS logs including inbound and outbound calls and messages, and is the perfect way to manage their screen time. Check them out in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.